what is it actually like to be married to a financial planner? Today, we're going to talk about what it's like, the obvious pros, but maybe some points of view that you never thought of.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to talk about.
All right.
What it's like being married to you.
Great. It's incredible. It's such a wonderful privilege.
See you in the next one.
And then there's the financial planning part. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's just the cherry on top. So a little caveat first. So a lot of people, I think, would assume that being married to a financial planner just automatically means some things. I remember somebody I used to work with, we were playing this game. It was like a team bonding thing. And one of the questions we drew for the team was if you could pick your spouse's job, what would you pick? And she picked financial planner, and that made me laugh because you were in the industry already. And I was like, I have your ideal job. I won. Just kidding.
Did she say why?
Yeah, because she said money is tied to everything. She's like, I would like to not have to, like, to know
what I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, to have that reassurance. And she's like, I want to have a lot of money. I'm like, fair enough. You know what? Like that. I love honest people. So I just think, though, that a lot of people assume the way she explained it was, yeah, I want to know I'm set up. I want to know that I'm good to go, basically, being married to a planner. And that's not always the case.
So you're saying that's not the case for you?
For me, I'm lucky. No, but I'm saying it's like it's a misconception maybe. And I think people will have maybe some misconceptions that we'll talk about being married to a planner and like what it means, I guess. Obviously, there's benefits. I'm married to someone who's very invested to our financial well-being.
That was so bad.
Pun intended, everyone.
No.
I came up with that one myself.
Oh,
no AI created that. That was me. Anyways, but obviously like that, you can't get any more personal than that, right?
But that's not always a good thing.
Exactly. But it does mean I have that. That is a pro, you know? Like I can't hire somebody who's going to be more invested in making my financial life good, right? I couldn't hire somebody and be like, you know what? You're a little bit more into making sure that I'm okay. No one's going to be that invested because I'm married to you. Like I would hope, you know, and I'm never going to trust anyone the amount that I trust you.
Makes sense.
So that's an obvious pro. Like I think everyone will know what the pros are of being married to a planner. What do you think? I guess what do you think some pros or cons would be? Do you have any other thoughts?
I think the cons would be that you might, and again, this is coming from obviously a slightly different angle. I would say the cons would be that you just think it's handled, so don't take the effort to learn and develop your own skill set in that area.
Yeah.
That's what if I get hit by a car, right? Like there's that side of things that, and yeah, you would hope that the planner like me would have given you enough guidance to be able to handle that type of situation, but
or would have planned for that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right.
He's that good, y'all. I shouldn't y'all on here. Sorry.
You don't even say that normally.
I do sometimes, but only like very casually.
So yeah, I think that'd be a big con that I am very aware of, that I try to, hence the part of this, the nice thing about doing this, right? Is you get to learn a little bit, because you're right, it does, finances impact every area of life. So
yeah,
it's important that you understand and manage the big picture as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put when I was creating like my notes for this episode, was becoming complacent, like having that complacency, because I can always default to you. And in the back of my head, even when I'm learning, this is a little bit of honest truth, I guess, is like, even though I have learned a lot, and I would say I have above average financial literacy, I still have that feeling in the back of my head where it's like, at the end of the day, I don't really need to know, because I'm not going to be touching this. Like, it's not like applied knowledge. Like, I have the knowledge, but I know you're going to do it. I don't have
And
to.
we also learn about a lot of different things, right? Like I always say that everybody has the ability to learn what they need to know about their own situation for sure, because you can be very specific. What makes my job a little bit harder is the fact that I have to know a lot about a lot of different types of situations. So for us, like even doing this, you're learning stuff that has zero application in your life.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to retain that. The hard thing is to determine what has application and what doesn't have application, right? And that's the thing I think a lot of people would struggle with. But yeah, I think that's fair. That you
Yeah.
feel that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like whenever you have an expert, like people in other like I want to say normal relationships, not that a relationship isn't normal, but it's like, or is, anyway, just being married sometimes because everybody has to deal with money. Sometimes one spouse will take ownership of finances anyway.
Absolutely. Very common.
So there is that con, but at the same time, it's like my financial literacy is above average. I don't feel that if you did get hit by a bus tomorrow or whatever, that I would be completely lost. But there is that element of complacency where I'm like, I don't really need to know.
And I also still make you do like the day-to-day management of stuff.
Yes,
like
you do.
you manage the day-to-day,
Well.
the day-to-day finances.
I'm like, the pro would be if I didn't. This is actually a GoFundMe. Just, I don't know. I was like,
GoFundMe gonna help you.
I was like, no, maybe not a GoFundMe, but like a petition. I don't know what they call
Petition
it.
for help.
Yeah. Don't make Cease do anything finance related.
No, I mean, I'm like, we split up the roles, that stuff that needs to happen. It's like, you do the transfers from the joint accounts, you pay the bills, you pay which honestly, up until recently, you was manually doing
I was.
the bills, and I was like,
Hey, stop calling
if
me
this
up.
was on my desk,
this
would
my
have been
episode.
automated. Like 7-8 years ago, and you're still there. You'd get the electric bill and manually send the money.
I would get annoyed at the electric bill. I'm like, stop sending this to my email. I want the paper. Wait for the paper.
Just automate that. Like
I don't know why I am the way I am.
But you did eventually. When Araya came, you're like,
when I was pregnant,
finally don't have capacity.
When I was pregnant, this is gonna tip me right over the edge if I have to do these bills.
It took pregnancy to get you to automate. It was like 3 documents you had to send in.
Yeah, I know.
But I make a point of not doing it for you.
Yeah, I know. I feel like your love language is actually, which is kind of dark and sad when you think about it, actually.
It's because of my upbringing.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. This is not the way this episode is supposed to go.
It's true.
No, it is. And like, I know that, but it is part of your love language. It's like you feel the need to set people up. It's like you don't catch a fish and feed it to me. You teach me how to fish.
that you butchered that, but yes, that is the idea. Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. I've learned stuff about cars I don't want to learn. I've told you, because you've said, well, what are you going to do if I die? I'm like, I will take it to a shop. I don't care. I'm paying extra because I don't want to do this. I hate cars.
And then how do you know if they're swindling on you or not?
I'm just going to hope they don't.
Yeah, the great hope chess.
Hope chess.
Your hope chess, hope life.
I hope.
Just hope it's fine.
I just, we'll plug NF here for his hope song. That's my theme song.
Your motto.
Yeah, that's my motto. Another NF song. Anyway, stop distracting me.
Sorry.
This is such a chaotic episode, and it is not how I planned it to go. So yeah, that's a con. That's an obvious con. I guess it's part of it is like, I don't need to know everything you know, especially in all of financial life, because you know a lot, obviously. But I do need to know enough that I don't feel helpless if something were to happen and like whatever. Yeah. So I need to make sure that I check the complacency, even though I don't want to. But that is like a con, I guess, of having a specialist, is that you can kind of push off learning. A myth that might be thought of, I guess, if you're thinking like, oh, this is what it would be like to be married to a financial planner or someone who specializes in the industry, I think would be that we or people in the industry are perfect with money or like don't make mistakes, or that we judge other people. Now that is one I specifically wanted to talk about, because I think like when it comes to money, we've already talked about this, like you can optimize, you can do things in a certain way, but it's not like we've never made a mistake in our 20s. There's no way that we're human.
Do you not remember the first?
Multiple things are coming to my mind right now. That's the problem.
the first, like when we first started budgeting properly, and we had the conversation about you paying off the debt, like that stuff. But that aside, when we didn't calculate properly and we ended up having our property tax come through, and we thought that it was being paid along with the mortgage, and for us at the time, earning very little, that was like, it was devastating almost, right?
Yeah.
It was just like,
it wasn't financially devastating, but it was basically, we had worked so hard to save throughout that year, and we didn't take a honeymoon after we got married because we
couldn't afford to.
Broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a matter of like us both working, we were grinding, we both didn't like
Very
our
low
jobs.
income. Yeah,
like it was a rough go in that aspect of life, but we had been saving.
But then again, I also wasn't a financial planner at that point.
Yes, we were married.
But I was getting into we were both tellers, right? No, maybe I'd have been
I think you were a PC at the time.
Okay, yeah.
So you were like starting, but again, you were studying. It was like there was a lot going on. Regardless, I also had the debt. And so technically I was saving, but Trey would be like, you're not really saving. So it was true. We had a convo about...
Even then I had a reasonable, I kind of knew basic. I still made plenty of mistakes, but I at least had a basic good direction.
Yeah.
Even back then.
Yeah. But yeah, that little bit of money that our property taxes was all of the money we had saved basically for that year. So it was devastating in that way, where you're just like, there's no way out.
Hard, yeah.
There's no way out. And that's how you feel. Cause I'm like, I did still have the debt at that point, I think, or I had just started paying it off.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But regardless, we are human, and financial planners are human. And I'm like, we've already talked about this. Not everyone is made equal in the industry. Just because they're a planner doesn't mean they're good with money. Luckily, we are.
Fortunately not. It's so bad.
But I think another part of the myth that we judge people, and the reason I say that, and I get that impression sometimes, is because people will sometimes do this thing. I'm a read between the lines person, first of all. Like, people will say things, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? I understand not everyone is like that. Maybe that would annoy some people, but I do that. So one thing I've noticed is sometimes people will over-explain things to us that I don't think they do to other people. Does that make sense? So it's like, I'm gonna order takeout tonight, but like, I know I have this, but because I need the convenience, or like, I'm just so run down, like I'm burnt out, and like, I really need this. I think it's worth it for me to, blah, and they go on and on and on. And I'm like, I just get this sense sometimes that people think they have to like appear a certain way, or like they have to show you, not necessarily me maybe, but when we're together, us, that they know about money, or they justify their decisions to us. And I'm like, we're not handing out report cards. It's like, oh, did you pay for delivery? Wow, that's a D-. Like, there's nothing like that happening. So it is sometimes socially, for me, it feels a little bit awkward. Because it's like, people know what you do, people have questions, but I can sense they don't want to appear like dumb, bad with money, all of these things. And I think it shows up in conversation sometimes in that sense. So
I would agree. I would say, but I think it's partly because people use money. They think that they should know X, Y, Z, right? Or nobody wants to think that they've made some like a poor decision regarding money. But the truth is that lots of people make poor decisions. It's just that or a decision even that I wouldn't agree with. And it's like, just because I wouldn't agree with the decision doesn't mean that like it's a terrible decision. I said that with a little bit of a caveat because
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes
But
it
the
is.
other thing is sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, even if they know it.
A lot of people, that's true. A lot of people are in that boat where they know.
And I
And
think
they just
sometimes I
lie to
do wonder
themselves.
if we are just like the soundboard and they're saying it to themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, like, oh, well, I bought the vehicle and I have a giant loan for it. I'm not saying this is no like specific example. Like I'm just coming up with something off the top of my head, but that is something where it's like, okay, the way you're saying it makes me think this was a poor financial decision, but you're trying to justify it not only to me, but also yourself. But it does make me worry that people think that we are judging them or like grading them on their finance and stuff.
The
So
truth is, I don't care that much. Like, and I think this is
like you do care, but
I have to not care, right?
Yeah.
Because especially socially, no, I do not want to be the party pooper of
it's like, oh,
every social
crazy.
event. Yeah.
That's another thing. But people do sometimes joke about that,
Yeah, and I don't want to be. So I am not the financial planner unless you come to me and you say, I would like you to be my financial planner. I'm going to give you all the information that you need. Like, I am asking for your help. I am not your financial. Just because you know me doesn't mean that I do not have all the information that I have on my clients. I'm not reviewing your tax returns. I'm not reviewing your retirement plans and your spending and your debt. Like, I'm not doing that for you. So, like, I'm not. Same when people ask for advice on this small thing or that small thing. It's like, there's some general advice that I can give you, a direction that I can push you in, but I don't know half this stuff about you that I know about my clients. So
Yeah. So this one little thing that they think you're judging them on is like, no, because I don't have nearly
any
enough
context.
Yeah,
right?
no
Like, there's
context.
even buying, you go and buy a brand new car and stuff. Objectively, buying a brand new car is a terrible financial decision, but not every decision has to be a financially good decision for it to be absolutely fine for you. I have no idea what your finances are like. Maybe you went and bought this thing with cash and you're good to go, and maybe you did use a loan, but you're deciding to leverage to do XYZ, and like it makes sense in your situation. I don't have all the information, so I can't judge you. What I would be like, but I would actually tell you to your face is like, okay, you're clearly struggling, and now you're driving a Lexus that you just clearly leased, and we have an issue now because like, what are you doing? If that looks, but I've never done that. I've never been in that situation. But I imagine I would probably say something in that situation. But no, for the most part, I just don't know.
It's like you're just living life.
Yeah, and I like talking about finances. I like talking about that stuff, but at the same time, I know that most people don't. So I don't want to be bringing it up. And
You're never the one to bring it up.
I do my best not to.
Which is sad, actually. It's true. It's like, it is kind of a funny like world to be in where it's like you specialize in something that everybody uses, right? So when people want to ask questions, they almost do. I don't know. Sometimes the conversation can feel a little uncomfortable, I would say. And my perspective is, I wonder if they think that we're somehow like coming to conclusions about them, sort of thing, based on like these one-off decisions, when that's just not true. It's like we don't have any information. And also I feel like we're not judgmental people.
Also, I would say you're saying we a lot, as if like the people that I have helped, you don't even, like, I tell you nothing.
Yeah. I'm saying
nothing.
this all in, like I said, conversations of like people bringing something up and then over explaining, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Like those situations are what I'm talking about, where I'm like, oh, I hope they don't think we're like judging them. I don't know if who or what you've done with other people, because there's like that confidentiality, but just in not even just friends, but like acquaintances and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you can get talking about stuff. So anyways, I would say that's a myth. On the flip side, here's my fear. Just as much as humans judge, as much as we want to say, like I just said, we're not judgmental. Like humans judge. They have prejudgments. That's why there's things called prejudice and whatever, and like lots of other areas. That's what humans do. It's not always a bad thing, but that is what we do. So on the flip side of us judging people, I worry that people judge us. And
like, in what way?
well, I think people hear what you do, and this might just be a me thing. Like, first of all, let me just put that out there because, you know.
You like to overthink?
Me? No.
Never.
I'm like spinning in here constantly. But I do, it makes me wonder, like, okay, they hear what you do. And again, like, I read between the lines. I feel like I'm right pretty often, but I'm not always right, obviously.
You think you're right?
I know. I'm like, I'm right all the time. Just kidding. I'm not like that. Okay. Anyway, but I think they start looking at our house and our cars and even like day-to-day spending. So just as much as I worry, like, oh, I hope they don't think we're judging them, I'm like, oh, I hope they're not judging us. Because sometimes people make small comments.
Like what? Like, I'm judging you how, I guess.
Almost like a no-win scenario. Like, oh, you're a planner, but that's what you drive? So regardless of what it is, like if you're driving a nice car, like, oh, it must be nice to have all this money and to be driving this nice car. Or if we're not driving like the newest car, it's like, oh, well, aren't you a financial planner? Like, why don't you drive a nicer car? So it's like, no matter what, it sometimes feels like you're in a lose-lose situation. Like, oh, that's your house? I thought it would be nicer. Or, oh, like it must be so nice to have that house. Like either way, it just feels like a judgment kind of thing. And I'm not, obviously this is not everyone or anything like that. This is not something that's keeping me up at night, but it is something in the back of my head that I have a fear of, because being married to you means like, what do people talk about? Oh, what do you do for work? And immediately they start coming to conclusions. They jump ahead and whatever. They think whatever they want to think. It's fine. But it is something that I kind of wonder about sometimes. Like,
well, that was your issue with even starting this podcast. It was like,
you know, I have like vulnerability cringe.
Yeah, it was like, and I think, because I totally get what you're saying, and I've definitely felt it as well to a degree. Like, even the car I drive is a prime example. I drive my 2014 Ford Fiesta that I bought when I moved to Saskatoon for like, I don't know what I paid for, like $8,000. Paid cash for it, $8,000 car. I needed, and the only reason I bought that one was because the one I was driving before, which was it was like a 2012 Ford Focus, the cruise control broke.
Yeah. And you were doing driving
and
at that time.
Yeah, and I was driving.
And because we moved to Saskatoon, I was like, we're going back to Regina a lot for my family.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to deal with having to keep my foot on the accelerator for the whole time. That's literally the reason that I bought that car. And that's the only reason that I sold it. I loved that car. That was a great car. I would still go back to that car.
You do still talk about that car.
Yeah, it was a great car. I rebuilt it from SGI, bought it, rebuilt it. It was great. But I've definitely felt that when I turn up into events and then the other cars around me are Lexuses, Porsches, things like that. Yeah, like they're fancy, expensive cars. And I'm like, there has definitely been the odd time when I've thought to myself, and maybe I should get like a nice car as well, so I don't like stick out almost, or like aren't prejudged based on, because a lot of people might look at my car and be like, oh, they're clearly not successful, right?
Yes.
And it's like, well, maybe I don't want people thinking that, but at the same time, then I think to myself, wait, I'm Trey Bynoe. I don't care what people think.
I love that. That's
what am I doing? I am okay with my car. I'm okay with turning up to an event, stepping out of my car, and I'm perfectly comfortable. If you want to judge me, judge away, right? Like, I've seen behind the curtain of plenty of people's finances, plenty of people that have significantly less assets than we do that do drive really, really nice cars. And like, I don't care. I do not want to make decisions based on what other people think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that pushes me the other way where I'm like, screw what people think.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, because I'm like that
that's
too.
That's definitely a thing, right? Whereas like, I'm going to drive this car into the ground because I have had people make comments though about what I drive and stuff like that. So, but I do get that. I do I do get that to a degree.
Yeah, it's a hard situation to be in because it's always in the back of your mind, like to show up a certain way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want the perception, I want to be perceived for whatever reason, like there's multiple different ways to be perceived and what's important to one person. Some people might be like, it's important to me to be perceived as my genuine, authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And then for other people, it might be more important for them to be perceived as like successful or a good family, like a good mom, a good dad, whatever, like to have that perception. So they prioritize things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something that I feel like we have to juggle or have had to juggle. Like, how do people view us? I guess
the question for you is, how do you want to be perceived?
I don't want to be perceived. This is like another topic. I'm like, I need therapy. I just, yeah, we're not going that deep. Not here. You're pushing your limits. Okay. You're on my vulnerability. Anyways, like to keep going on, part of that fear though is worrying that people could eventually have a sense of entitlement as well. Like, I'm saying this very cautiously because I'm scared, but it is something that I've mentioned before where it's like, I worry that sometimes people might think like, oh, well, you know about money, like you should help me in whatever that capacity is.
I've already had that with like family and stuff like.
Yeah, like people.
Like it's definitely been.
It's happened, and that was even like early when we didn't have anything to give. Like it happens in any scenario. Like it doesn't matter that you're a financial planner. Like I know other families would experience that, right? Like
it's very common. Yeah.
But I do think it adds a little bit more, and being a family who will have wealth and people will know that. Does that make sense? It's like sometimes you look at people and like you said, like they may be driving a fancy car and have a nice house, but they don't actually have money. They're in debt and whatever. But I think it's like, okay, you're a planner, so you know about money. So the assumption that we have wealth is correct, I guess, like for lack of like, not sharing it, whatever. It's like, so people knowing that, I worry that even on a subconscious level, they jump ahead. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, they should do this. Like they should drive a nicer car. They should help me if I need money. They should pay for this meal out. They should do that. Like they jump ahead without actually thinking because they've put pieces together. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh, they have money. They should be doing this.
They just picked the wrong person.
But it makes me feel bad.
It might make you feel bad in some capacity, but I try to explain this to clients as well, especially when it comes to helping people that, like your own children, for instance, and things like that. There's a very thin line between enablement and helping. Mm-hmm. And it's like you want to, as an individual that understands very deeply money and what it takes to, like not even, I wouldn't say money, I would say resources. Mm-hmm. And what it takes to build and develop resources, you cannot do that for somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I've always said, like, I will help people as much as they're willing to help themselves. But even when it comes to just asking, like, I will not lend somebody money for pretty much anything but a proper business type opportunity where it's like, okay, I will try to help yourself, and I'll absolutely be a resource for that. I'm huge into like people starting their own small companies and things like that. I think it's really important that people have the opportunity and try to do that. So that type of stuff, but I will look at it from a business arrangement. It's not going to be you're never going to if you're successful with what I would give you, you're never going to be able to look back and say, the reason I'm successful is because Trey was so kind. Like, no, you'll be successful because you was successful. I gave you the same arrangement that I would give to anybody else because it was purely a business arrangement. But what I am not willing to do is help somebody. Oh, you need $1,000 to go on a vacation and then be in that relationship with that person and them not pay me back and then me doing other stuff with their money and me feeling a certain type of way towards that. Or let's say somebody was like, I really needed this money to fix my car, right? I need $500 to fix my car. Give them $500. I'll give you it back next month. And then next month comes and it's now 2 months. And then it's now 3 months. And then I see them eating out and ordering Uber Eats. And like, I refuse. I'm not going to put myself in that situation where I feel that way towards somebody else.
Yeah.
And because I would have different standards for that type of behavior, it's much better that you need that $500. Hey, come work for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I need this done. Let's do but me gifting it to you is, not gifting, me lending it to you.
Yes.
Is not going to happen, right? And a gift would be different. That's, again, but I will not, like the way that some people do and some families do, and even among some friends and stuff like that, that's very common that they'll just, oh, give me $100. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me whether it's $100. I'm not lending you $100 or $10,000. It's not, I'm not going to lend my friend or somebody that like that money in that type of way that could potentially damage our relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just not worth it.
It's just not worth it for, again, business is very separate. I'm separating that
and
entirely.
Gifts. I want to make sure that's
completely separate.
Clear, because it's not like that is something that we've both talked about when it comes to our values that I'm glad like we align on. We're very against strings attached gifts.
Yeah.
If we've decided to gift something, it's like, I don't care what you're doing with this.
Yeah.
Literally, this is going from me to you. I don't care about it. I don't own it. It's yours. So if they want to go out and blow it, I'm not going to feel any kind of way because it's a gift.
Because it's a gift. Exactly.
But that's the difference between the lending versus gifting, where it's like we have zero expectation of what you do with it, getting it back, nothing. Like, obviously, that's... Yeah. But, yeah. So that is something that I think about, and I think is kind of the perspective of being married to someone who is a financial planner, but I would assume it's the same for people who are married to other professionals.
I actually think it's just any first generation wealth.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so when it comes to family?
When it comes to family and stuff, and even friends, because your friend circle tends to be from a similar socio-economic place as how you grew up.
That makes sense.
So, because like a lot of people, you'll be friends through university or high school or whatever it is. So they tend to, so that's where it's the most common, is when you're the first person in your family to go to school, or build a business, a successful business or stuff like that. That's where that type of thing can
the entitlement is more so.
I was talking to a client, very wealthy. They built a tens of $1 million worth of assets and stuff, very wealthy family. And we were having the conversation around, it was adult kids around taking their kids on vacation, right? They wanted to, and the vacation was going to cost $50,000 to $100,000 for all their family and stuff to go. And it was the husband and wife weren't aligned. Husband was like, I don't want to do it. Wife was like, I really want to do it. We get into it, and it wasn't that one wanted to do it, one didn't want to do it. Because originally it was like, he doesn't want to spend the money. And that wasn't the issue. The issue was he did not want to spend the money and the kids be ungrateful. Mm-hmm. Because he did not come from money. Yeah. They worked really hard to build the business that they had, and therefore $100,000 vacation was out of, if somebody said you want to spend $100,000 to him when he was in his 20s and 30s on a vacation, out of his mind crazy. Yeah. Right? So it's like, if he's going to do that for his now adult kids, they better be grateful for it. Yeah. And not argue while they're on vacation. That was really what it came down to. It was like, if I'm looking around, if I bring everybody out and do all this nice stuff, and we're out there and they're arguing because they always like to argue, my kids, and they're arguing while we're on vacation for 10 days, I'm going to be mad about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, it would be ungrateful. And that was really what it boiled down to. It wasn't the money. It was this sense of entitlement. And that's something that I think anybody that's in a position that is first generation has to deal with at some point.
I think that is actually such a good story, and it is exactly how I think I feel when I talk about this. Because it's not like we've had anybody, like, I want to be very clear. All of our family and friends are great. Like, the people we have in our life, never.
No, we're very picky about who.
Sure. But at the same time, it's not in the back of my head. And I don't necessarily like that about myself, that I'm almost being a bit skeptical sometimes. I'm like, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, like even new people that we meet and come into our life that maybe aren't like our close friends or whatever. But I think that mindset of the way you described it for that person, like that guy, where it's like, I came from nothing, which is true for both of us. I worked really hard, and you didn't see necessarily all of the work to get to the point where we are at or where we will be at in the future, whatever. You don't know all the other stuff going on in our life, like that this money could be used for, whatever. Like, there's a lot of depth to it, I guess. So when I worry about those things, it does give me the sense of like almost resentment preemptively, even though nothing has happened, where it's like, I don't want to feel resentful to people that if they start to think like, well, you should be doing this, like, you should help me, you should do this. It's like, well, actually, like, I worked really, really hard for this, and now you seem like unappreciative if I do help you.
And I don't help you for that. And I mean,
it's like the attitude and the motive and stuff.
I don't break my budget for me. I don't break my budget for you. So I ain't breaking a budget for them.
Please. Back to the GoFundMe,
It's like, if I'm not doing it for my wife and my daughter to break the budget, I'm not doing it for
some guy off the street, like, for lack of a better.
Not happening.
Yeah. So anyways, that's pretty much the episode. There's like, the takeaway is everybody needs to have knowledge, like, regardless of who you're married to, you should know about money. And I should stop being skeptical, maybe. I should stop overthinking. Everybody says that, which is kind of true, but it is part of who I am. And we're both just normal people. It's just that we talk about money more than average people, I think. And that's pretty much it.
I would say we talk about money more than people that aren't
fighting over money.
Yeah.
Like, our conversations aren't arguments.
They're not arguments, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Which actually leads into the next episode nicely. So maybe we will leave it there.
Okay.
We'll see you in the next one.
Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Plain English Finance Podcast. Trey Bynoe, Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Investment Manager, is a financial planner with TC Wealth Management and Aviso Wealth. You should always consult with your financial, legal, and tax advisors before making changes. This podcast is provided as a general source of information and should not be considered personal investment advice or solicitation to buy or sell any securities. The views expressed are those of the individual and are not necessarily those of Aviso Financial Inc. Mutual funds and other securities offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.